In today's case, we discuss whether the disappearance and subsequent death of a young woman was due to the paranormal, or is there more of a simple explanation? Water. A fundamental building block of life. Without it, we wouldn't be here. But water is not only necessary for our survival, it is also a murderous, tattletale-ass bitch.
That's a bit rude, isn't it?
Let me explain. So it's early 2013.
Ooh.
Right? And people staying at the Cecil Hotel started making complaints about the water.
Something about the water. Don't like that. That makes me blue.
And I mean, water should look like water, right? Transparent. Shouldn't really have much of a color at all. It should certainly taste like water. It shouldn't taste like anything else. It shouldn't be cloudy. It shouldn't be black.
That actually makes me feel sick. I have a weird water phobia. It's got to be clear water.
Girl, I can't drink water if it has not been filtered.
Yeah.
I do not like tap water. I'll drink it when I'm in a pinch, but otherwise...
If I'm feeling like a gut cleanse,
otherwise,
have some tap water.
It's purified.
Yeah.
Or normally it's slightly sparkling. I do like spicy water.
Oh, that makes me feel sick listening to that.
Anyway, that is probably a little bit of a blanket statement because I know that water is different depending on where in the world you might be.
It can be black, it could be white.
It could be it could be purple, it could be anything you like. But it should certainly not be black. And that sounds so racially fueled. But I'm talking about water. I'm not talking about people. People
You're so
should be
brown
black.
over here and you're like...
People should be black. Anyway, listeners, if the water comes out of the tap and is cloudy or discolored, the last thing you should do is drink it.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if, like, there's a faucet or something in your house you just haven't used in a long time and you turn it on for the first time in ages and it comes out kind of, like, muddy and stuff.
No, thank
just
you.
don't drink it.
Don't risk it.
For the biscuit.
Don't do it.
But this is America.
Only in America.
And they drank it anyway, leading to both of the reasons for the complaint. As in the murky and it tasted funny, like it wasn't the right colour and it tasted a bit off.
Yeah, she'll be right. Oi, oi, oi.
Unfortunately, on the 19th of February, maintenance worker Santiago Lopez was investigating the issue and would discover that it was not a bad pipe or water supply from the tank. It was, however, the body of 21-year-old Elisa Lam, who was kind of decomposing in there. She hadn't been seen since, I think, the 8th.
Oh. So 11 days. All right. Didn't you say the 19th?
21st is when they were found.
Oh, did you say
8th was the
21st?
last time
Sorry,
they
I
were
thought you
seen.
said 19th. Why did
Because
I
you were
think
11,
19?
yeah, no.
I'm like, I thought you said 19.
Meth.
Methany.
Not meth. Math, like counting.
Sound like you said meth.
That's probably what you're hearing.
What the fuck?
You got the grinds. Gross fact. Not only did those tanks supply water to the guests staying at Hotel Cecil, but it also supplied water to the hotel kitchen, which would have been where they would have cooked and prepared food and all that kind of stuff. It also supplied water to a coffee shop. So
I feel sick in me tum.
you're on your period.
Yeah. Shock, bait, ooh ha ha.
Shock, weak, ooh ha ha.
I don't like that. That's really gross. Continue.
And just so we don't have to really talk about it later,
Good.
so we can get it all out of the way now. When they found Elisa, she was face up in the tank and she was naked. However, her clothes were found in the tank with her.
Okay.
I go into a theory later that I'm pretty sure I didn't come up with, but that I was thinking. So hold.
Oh no, it has actually been so long that I can't remember this case, so you're good.
She's found in the tank, right? And she's got her clothes and stuff with her. She was bloated from decomp and her skin was a greenish color.
Yeah.
They said that there was marbling evident in her abdomen.
I wanted to ask what is marbling, and I think I know. Is it literally where, I don't know how, but the skin does like little marble, like, does it actually lift, or it's just like the print of, I'm just doing circles like this?
Think of like discolored swirls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like
that's like the
marbling.
marbling. Because I think I've seen,
You probably have that body farm stuff.
yeah. But what is it from? Do you know what it's from?
Decomposition.
It is? Ugh.
And there was also skin separation happening. where the skin starts to slough off the corpse.
Water death.
Slough is such a gross word.
I can't. I don't. Yeah. Water and decomp do not make friends.
And I mean, she had been missing since the 31st of January, right? She was seen for the last time on the 8th, apparently, but she'd been missing since the 8th, I think was the last time someone said they saw her. People can be fallible, so whether or not they saw her or just someone that they thought was in her likeness, but it would have been worse if it were in summer.
Ew.
Because remember, we're in winter at the moment.
Yeah.
Mind you, we are in winter on the west coast, so it's still warm.
Yeah.
LA.
California.
LA. Say what? California. They do a toxicology report. Favorite thing in the world. I have a PDF copy of her actual coroner's report, like the whole thing. No photos, thank God, but they go into detail about everything else, which is actually a fascinating read. Like horrible.
Yeah.
Gross. Not because of who it is, but just the circumstances. It's a dead person.
Yeah.
And everything comes back pretty normal. They do get a 0.02% alcohol reading, but I recall hearing something that I think you told me actually, that the body can naturally produce alcohol. So a small reading doesn't mean the person was even drinking alcohol. They could have been, but it is also naturally occurring.
Did I teach you something? Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you taught me something. That's
at
right,
me
I did.
go.
And I put that information forward into a case, so
Look at you.
you're
go.
welcome. But yeah, again, so I mean, alcohol thing, that's kind of inconclusive because your body can produce it naturally.
Yeah.
So it could be here or there, but they didn't really find anything else in her system, like other than like low levels of prescription medication.
Yeah.
So that begs the question, what happened to Elisa Lam? Dum, dum, do, 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 do. You know what that sound is?
What is it, Law and Order?
Sexual whatever thing is. There's no sign that she was sexually abused in any way, shape or form. Let's start with a little bit of a background on her, because obviously I've done things a little bit different today, where I went into something before talking about her, which is not normally what I do. So Elisa was first generation. First gen.
American.
No, my favorite one.
Canadian.
She was first generation
I
Canadian.
just think I was like...
And you know what that means though, right? First generation Canadian. So her parents immigrated
Yeah.
from China.
So she is the first, yep.
So her and her sister, it's not that she was the first, but she's, I guess, the first generation. And her parents, their names were David and Yina. I don't know, because I know a lot of people from China will have like their traditional name and then also their like Christian name. I am going to assume Yina is probably not her Christian name, but I don't know for a fact. So
Yeah. Still beautiful.
and Elisa was born in Vancouver on the 30th of April,
Get out.
1991.
Oh, shivers. I didn't realize how young she was.
Yeah, just 21.
No, it has been so long since I've heard this that I actually forgot.
She was ickle.
Oh, yeah. This is nice though, because it's not nice. You know what I mean? A nice case to do, because I know about it, but I can't remember it. You know?
Yeah.
This is good. I'm glad you're doing this one. Love it. Love it.
Thank you very much. Once they actually made it to Vancouver, they opened up a restaurant called Paul's Restaurant. I don't know why they named it that. It has like a little slogan thing underneath it, which I was going to write down but then didn't, because to me it's not really that important. But I did look it up, and it is still running to this day, so it's still open.
That's really cool.
It closed for a period during like the search for Elisa, and slightly after that, and there was a memorial, like people were leaving flowers and stuff at the door of the restaurant. And she had one sister named Sarah, so there's only two of them that are there. And you may have guessed it, but Elisa like excelled in school. She did. What can I say? But like many of us, she compared her progress to her peers. And come university, this would cause her a lot of anxiety, because she felt that she was falling too far behind them. And I've said it once, and I'll say it again, comparison is the thief of joy. It is. So remember that. Anyway, this caused her attendance to drop. So because of that, she was kind of like anxious and doubting her abilities. So then that kind of made her become her own saboteur, and then she stopped going as frequently as she would, and she stopped handing certain assignments in and that kind of stuff, which again is like sad because she was very, very smart.
Yeah.
Off the record, but like on the record, but off the record for a moment. I don't know if she was actually falling behind or if she kind of just got into her own head. But also, like, maybe I'm just lazy in that way of thinking. Because it's like, for me, someone does a good thing, good for them. This takes us up to 2013, and while Elisa had previously attended the University of British Columbia, which sounds so fancy, University of British Columbia, at the time of her death, she wasn't actually enrolled there.
Oh.
So I think that's because everything leading up to that, she like...
Yeah, right.
Maybe she took a break. Maybe she's taking a gap year. Like, I don't know specific, but she wasn't registered for her classes. I don't know if she was enrolled as a student still, but she at least was not registered for any specific classes. And given her struggles with academia, I guess in the later end, she probably decided that she needed to figure her life out and take some time, which is kind of what saw her end up in LA to begin with. She was on a holiday. She had taken time to go and see the world. Yeah, to LA. And unfortunately, eventually to her death.
Yeah, that's so messed up.
In LA.
I wouldn't have gone to LA.
Of all the places.
Like, I get it, but no. Smog city, bitch. Smog city, bitch. 10, 20s, 50s don't know, bitch, because it's smog city, bitch.
Yeah, can't see them. And the notes all look the same, America.
Yeah, it's like Monopoly money.
Fake paper, Trump. Now, when people hear the name Elisa Lam, maybe more so people who are in the true crime and the paranormal sort of realm, they think about a video that was released during the search for her, and the video was believed to be the last footage of her when she was alive. You've seen the video
Yeah, I think so.
of her in the elevator? So this video made its rounds among the paranormal enthusiasts due to its creepy and kind of mysterious contents. Now, I obviously can't show you what this video looks like because you're listening to a podcast, not watching a video itself, but I will pop a link to the YouTube video below so you can see it. But so we can talk about it, I will describe briefly what we see in this video. So basically it starts off and you see Elisa enter the elevator and she presses multiple buttons, but it looks like they're all like cascading. She starts at the top and just works her way down. Why? Don't know. Doesn't make sense to me, but she does it. At this point, though, even though you do see her press multiple buttons, it just looks like just regular Joe blogs just pushing buttons to go to their floor. Maybe they press the wrong one. I don't know, but nothing out of the ordinary seems to be happening at this particular time. Then she backs into one of the corners, and then you're like, but maybe she's just getting comfortable. Maybe. And she's there for a moment before she sneaks back to the front door of the elevator and like looks out as if she's being watched or followed or there's someone there or something, right?
Yeah.
She checks right and then she checks left before stepping backwards into the elevator again and tries to hide against the wall near the buttons. So it's kind of like, who are you hiding from, girl?
Yeah, that's weird.
She waits there for a couple of seconds as she makes her way back to the door again, where she stands for a minute before leaning back out, keeping one foot inside the lift. Probably so the door doesn't close, maybe? Like,
yeah, smart. Like to be, okay.
To be conscious of that or aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Then she edges her way out in sort of like a jumpy motion and then looks to her left, kind of like a surprise. I think it's like she works her way up to doing that, which it still just does not make a lot of sense to me, but that's what she does. She steps back into the elevator again before stepping back out towards the right-hand side, and she stands there for a moment. You can see at this point her hands are like on her head. So contemplation, conversation. It's as if there's another person that's there with her.
Yeah.
It's not like she's just standing there doing that by herself. Like that wouldn't make sense. Anyway, so she gets back into the elevator. Her hands are still kind of like on her head. And she then starts like just pressing all of the buttons again on the lift. This time it's not just like cascading. It's like she's pushing every single one that would work. Not the like open close buttons, the like floor buttons.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. The elevator, however, doesn't close. And instead of waiting really for it to go anywhere or do anything, she walks out of it to the left and then the door closes and then it goes up to the next floor and it opens on the next floor. So she's gone by that point, and that was the last footage that was ever found of her.
That is really creepy.
It's creepy, especially because there's no sound either on those cameras. So you can't hear what she's saying. All you can see is like a somewhat grainy film of her having a moment in the elevator, which again doesn't really make a lot of sense. But this video is what really led people to believe that there was something paranormal paranormal or otherworldly behind Elisa's disappearance and subsequent death. And I'm in no position to say that I know for certain what happened as much as anyone else, I guess, but I'm sure that if it were not for the video, people would not have put a paranormal spin on it. You may be looking up now, being like, why not? Because again, there's a lady that's found in a water tank, a cistern. Hey, sister.
So weird.
So strange. And as I mentioned earlier, I do have the coroner's report, which you can find pretty easily online. I literally just typed in Elisa Lam coroner report, and it was a PDF that was there. You didn't need to click through other stuff. It was just available.
I like that, because then you're getting the info straight from the source.
So you don't have the ability to editorialize stuff at that point. It's there.
Love it. Don't love it, but love it.
And like, if that's up your alley, I know it sounds kind of grim, but if it's up your alley, take a look, have a read. Again, it is interesting, but you have been warned, because it does go through like detail as to the condition of her body and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, if you're of weak constitution, then maybe you don't want to read that. I know I am, and I had a hard time getting through the whole thing, but do it at your own risk. Anyway, the report doesn't really cover anything that we don't already know, other than the quantity of prescription drugs in her system, but it's not what you think.
Okay.
Boom,
Well, you sound like you're about to do a share, like, whoa.
whoa.
Okay. Yes. Tell me more.
Well, I will.
Yeah, right.
This might be the part, dear listener. I say that because there might just be one person listening. But
Just you. Hey.
single listener. This may be the part where you think, oh, okay, she just took a handful of drugs, went batshit, wound up in a water tank. But divest yourself of the thought of this, because it was the opposite, and possibly what makes me feel a little bit more skeptical about this being a paranormal situation at all.
Ew.
I know. And see, that's the thing where I found myself very frustrated, because I'm the type that wants it to be a paranormal. I want it to be spook. I want there to be something mysterious and otherworldly. Of course, we're never going to know for certain exactly what happened here. This stuff leads me to kind of feel like it was not paranormal.
Yeah.
It could have been anything, and I will always leave that door open, but I feel like this one may not so much be that. So Elisa was beautiful. I thought she was quite pretty, and she was a very smart person, but she also suffered with a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah.
Like a lot. She was diagnosed with bipolar and depression, and she was taking a cocktail of medication to help her with this condition. She was on Wellbutrin, and that's an atypical antidepressant. She was on lamotrigine, it's for epilepsy and also a mood stabilizer for bipolar disorder. She's on quetiapine, which is a schizophrenia, bipolar, and major depressive disorder drug. She's on dexedrine spansol, which I don't know if I'm even saying that properly, but that's for ADHD and narcolepsy. And she was also on venlafaxine, which is a generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder drug to help with that kind of stuff, right? So she's on 5 different prescribed medications. 4 of the 5 target repression of bipolar. So she must have had some pretty big demons to be on multiple different types of prescription drug for her condition. Like,
That's
a lot.
That is a lot. And to all hit, like normally 1 or 2 mixing together, but like that many, that's a lot, isn't it?
And again, you may be thinking, well, that's a lot. And it's a lot for someone to be on. She took too much, Bob's your uncle. Well, the problem is, the reason they wrote down the amounts of like prescription drugs they found in her body is because there wasn't enough in there. So it was evident that someone had stopped taking their medication.
Oh, yeah. And some of those meds, if you stop them suddenly, you can literally have seizures. Yeah. Yeah, wow, okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
And something I didn't know before researching this case is that people with severe bipolar can suffer hallucinations. So it makes sense that she was on quetiapine. So it definitely, again, to me, puts more of a plausible medical reason behind her behavior, which does make the paranormal aspect seem less likely. But whichever way you slice it, there is still some mystery behind it, and someone's life was still lost, which is still sad.
Yeah.
Regardless. So there are people who believe that she was murdered, even though there was no evidence that suggested as such. There were no witnesses who saw anything that would suggest that she was murdered. And And I think what it is that her being found in a water tank is so strange, because it is. Like, that in itself is odd, because it seems like someone was trying to hide the body. But what if Elisa was having hallucinations and believed that she was in real danger and tried to hide from it? She believes it's real and she wants somewhere to hide. She finds somewhere to hide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear the tone, but just you wait, sunshine.
Oh, no, I am. Don't you worry.
Which led to accidental drowning because she was in a water cistern. People also like to ask about her clothing. Why was she naked in there? Might I remind you, it's winter. She's in a body of water. What if, and I don't know this because I don't know if it said in the report that there was any signs of this, but what commonly do people with hypothermia do?
Get naked.
They take their clothes off because your body at that point is telling you that you're too hot, because it confuses extreme cold with heat, right? So you end up taking off all of your clothing. Boom, you're naked, you're already hypothermic, you die.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Bodies are crazy.
Again, accidental drowning. Like, especially if you're already succumbing to hypothermia.
Yeah, that sounds more plausible.
So that's a possibility. Again, not saying it's an actual thing. How does she get on the roof when the door is locked? Because there is a door to the roof that is actually bolted, like it's locked shut. Only from the inside. What do fire escapes look like in America? They're stairwells on the side of buildings that go all the way to the roof. That was not locked. So she was still able to actually get there. That was from an investigation that was done because they looked into all of that kind of stuff. So she actually had access to that roof.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. She just could have just walked out there by herself. Again, I'm not saying that she wasn't murdered.
Yeah.
A lot of people still think that she could have been murdered. I'm not saying that she wasn't because I don't know.
No, yeah.
But I just don't believe it's paranormal at this point. And given what we have seen and what we know, I think it is more likely accidental death. But it could be anything.
Because we weren't there.
We weren't there, so we can't speak conclusively because we don't know for certain, right? It's all theory and hypothesis.
I like that word. Hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
What's your hypothesis?
My hippopotamus. The tank. It would have been locked and shut, right? And too heavy for someone to actually open.
I would think so, right?
Not if it was the only one that was missing a lock and was already open when the janitor found it.
Oh, huh? Oh, what are they doing with their lives?
Don't know.
Oh, I don't like that, but yeah.
Well, not all of them.
Hello.
But also, here's the thing. If it were shut,
Yeah.
right, because there's no other way to explain how she would have been able to break a lock. But let's imagine that she is having a deep hallucination where her life's in peril, right?
Yeah.
And she has somehow managed to climb up onto the top of the cistern and pull the heavy lid up. It is fathomable that she would be able to achieve that.
Yeah.
In times of dire need, you think your life's at risk, blah, blah, blah. Adrenaline.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you could have done that. But it was not locked. The janitor confirms it was not locked.
Huh. Right.
Again,
My brain's working.
leading to the possibility of it being accidental or murder, not paranormal. Unless it was a ghost that killed her.
Yeah. Get in the tub. Yeah, I see. I didn't realize that about this. Yeah, right.
People also wanted to know why she would have, because some people are also saying suicide, right? Which
Yeah.
has to be something that's always on the board, unfortunately. But people were asking really good questions because that was only the first leg of her trip. Like, she was meant to be heading to Santa Cruz after that. She wasn't done. She wasn't finished.
So that was literally the start of the trip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was going somewhere else after that. She wasn't finishing her trip in LA. So the fact that she would have intentionally killed herself in LA
Yeah.
before going to Santa Cruz, like, listen, if that were me, and don't worry, I'm not at risk of offing myself, but if that were me, I would wait to the very end of my holiday and right before I had to go back to work.
Yeah, you wouldn't plan a trip if that's what you were doing.
Plan a trip and pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you'd go to the one spot if that's what you wanted, but not. Yeah, right.
You wouldn't
okay.
plan and pay for multiple places.
Yeah, I
like,
didn't-
that would be odd. That would be very, 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 very odd.
Yeah.
But also, there are other people who think that suicide wouldn't have been a thing anyway because, like, she did obviously suffer and she had her own online blog. I think she had, like, a Twitter or a Tumblr at first and then her actual own blog.
Yeah.
Where she would kind of talk about her feelings and how she felt and how horrible it felt to be feeling the way she felt. So sometimes she would be happy and then she's crying the next minute and she's angry the next minute. She's back to crying again. She found it really hard to regulate her emotions, obviously due to her mental health condition.
Yeah.
So, like, she would write about that kind of stuff. But according to her parents, her mum, I think, they were talking about that there was no way that she was at risk of killing herself. It was never something that they had to worry about because she had never shown signs of suicidal ideations before. So
yeah.
At the same time, you'll have people like Robin Williams, right, which you didn't think had those, but we didn't know him personally, so I don't know if his friends and family thought that maybe he did, but at least the public didn't get to see that side of him. So we don't know for certain, but there are a lot of people who are like, I don't believe that it would have been suicide. And again, coroner's report after a detailed examination, they think it's accidental drowning. They didn't think it was intentional. Though, not fun fact, related, not related, because where she was staying, it was like I think it was more like a hostel sort of situation, and she had to share a room with another person. And apparently because of her weird behavior, that person asked to be moved. They were like, I don't want to stay with her. Can you rehome me?
Oh.
So apparently her behavior was odd. I don't know what she was doing. I don't know what had happened, but apparently she was a little bit of a weirdo. According to this one person whom I do not even have a name for, so they don't really count at the end of the day. Anyway, here's my take on things. And don't get me wrong, I wanted this to be paranormal. The preference would be that someone didn't die, but I can't change that. I still wanted it to be paranormal. I think something the public deem as strange happened. I believe that people want it to be something fantastical, paranormal, spooky, when the reality is that a very sick girl stopped taking her medication and it had dire consequences. And it's not pretty and it doesn't fit into a neat little box because whether we like it or not, there are things that are left unanswered in this world. What's your take?
So I didn't realize the medication. Like, I knew there was mental health, but I didn't realize it or couldn't remember the full extent. How long is it from... Oh, no, she was from Canada, wasn't she?
She was from Canada.
Because I was like, if the trip was a bit long, you know, she forgot her pills, blah, blah, blah.
I believe she had her medication with her. It wasn't a matter of her just
because I would
deciding
see,
not to bring them or running out.
I wonder how long it would take for the medication to, and which ones do cause bad effects when stopped quickly. Because some you can stop quickly and others you can't, and that's when the things happen.
Yeah, but cold turkey on all of them.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. So I believe they said that it was either signs of someone who had been reducing their intake and they could still have been on it, or it's someone who had just stopped taking it.
Yeah.
And that's just what the report picked up.
The behavior in the elevator is someone on drugs or someone not on medication.
Someone hallucinating.
Yeah. Like, and the fact her toxicology was clear.
Yeah, she's not on drugs.
Yeah.
Like, and
to be
she's
acting
not
that way.
enough on her prescription drugs. If she does, and here's the thing too, like, remember, severe cases of bipolar can cause hallucinations.
Hear voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was on 4 different types of bipolar medication.
Yeah.
One of which also helps treat schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Even though she wasn't, I believe, diagnosed with that. But what is commonplace with schizophrenics? Hallucinations. Apparently, actually, fun fact, not fun for them, is that it can be hard to diagnose patients. It's one way or the other, I can't recall what it is, but if you're in a manic phase and you have hallucinations and stuff, a lot of people with bipolar disorder do get incorrectly diagnosed with schizophrenia. It's scary.
It's crazy how they all kind of intertwine.
Yeah.
In a sense, like have similar. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, I definitely think coming off the medication. But then why?
People do it, but here's the thing, like, have you or have you not, and I can get rid of this if you want.
Yeah.
Have you or have you not decided at one point or another to stop taking medication because you were feeling good?
Yeah, but that was 1 compared to 5.
That was 1, but that was you.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? So she may have been feeling like she actually had a handle on it.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I know that there are a lot of like there are, what are those reuptake inhibitors? There are ones that stop you feeling anything.
Yeah.
Maybe she wanted to feel again. Like there are so many things behind it, which could have been the driving force of why she stopped taking them. All I know is that she was not taking her medication, or at least the quantity in which she needed to remain healthy.
That's sad.
Or as healthy as possible. And she ended up dead.
That's so horrific and sad.
It is. It is.
I don't like that.
I don't think that you would be right if you did.
Yeah.
But that brings us to the end of today's case.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Don't like water deaths or any deaths.
Okay, good. I was going to say I don't like any of them. No deaths, please.
No deaths. Like and subscribe. Catch you on the flip side.
Okay. Adios.
Amigos.
I'm going to say bye and you said friends. Friends.
Bye, friends? Question mark?
Water.
Water. Water.
Water.
Water.
Water.
Water. Okay.
Water. Oh, I can't even say it proper now.
Water.
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 Bottle of water.
Can I get a bottle of water, please?
Water. Water.
Do you know water? That's even weirder. What's water in Japanese? I don't know. But that's what I was saying. I'm sure it sounds better than water.
Agua.
Oh, is it? Is that what?
That's Spanish, you fuck.
Oh, I don't even know. That's an English
Agua.
or a Spanish?
Japanese? Oh. Arigato gozaimasu, agua.
Agua? Agua.
Do you know what we're doing now?
Cecil
Cecil.
Hotel. See,
Yeah,
we're not
Ralph
even...
is over this.
I think you're over me,
Hey,
and you're
Ralph,
like,
no.
you're not even 2 minutes in.
No.
I'm sorry.
So it's early 2000. For applause. Yeah. Oh, I nearly passed out.
Yeah, it felt like I was popping something there.
Yeah, a molly. So she's found in the tank. Oh, that was a loud. That's my loud ass. I have you know, I had to build this desk.
I have you know. I'm so proud of you. You're becoming a man. I made a man out of you. Was in the Franken.
I know what song you're talking
Yeah,
about.
we're
Frank
in
and Frodo was singing it to
Yeah.
Rocky.
Yeah.
So there's so many different. I had to write them down in a way.
No,
I
that
would-
lemo is the one that I'm on. That's why I was laughing.
Well,
Lemo. Sorry. That's a.
we got you, girl.
That-
I don't know what I was gonna say, but
Well, you did ask me what I think.
yeah, but you didn't really tell me. You just
Yeah,
said
I
it was
know.
well written.
But then we said, you were asking me what was my take, and then I said it's well written, and you said ew, and then you said something.
I could rewind this if I wanted to hear that. I'm kidding.
Well, no, I know you are.
It's a joke. Don't take it too serious. Don't let it ruin anything.
I quit. I never want to do this podcast with you again. I've got some things to say too, you know?
Yeah.
And you haven't respected me enough. I really haven't, really.